Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 13th. This week, we are going to jump right in here. You have this card. It says, work through your fears. You also have this full moon in Aquarius. It says, show the world the real you. Yeah, Uranus in your sign. Uranus has been in your sign for like 2 days. And so, or like 3 days at the time I published this video. I think that with, having Uranus in your first like this, especially you being a Gemini, number one, Uranus loves being a Gemini, but, I would say that, it could be a little bit, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of energy going on, especially at the beginning of it, you know what I mean? It's like you could, kind of like feel two sides of yourself, or, it's like you could be bouncing back and forth between those two sides. But this reading looks really good here, Gemini. So it's, like I said, it looks very good just in general. You could be showing the world your true colors, like who you really are. And of course, I would make sure that you keep that positive and keep like how the world sees you as positive as well, because that's going to lead to the best outcome, of course. You have the Tower here, but Tower's coming up in the good stuff, so wouldn't really worry about it. You have the Page of Wands, the Judgment card, and the King of Cups showing up here. Some of you could still be deciding like who you are in some ways, or you could be deciding like who you want to be at this time. It's kind of like one of those weird times. I will tell you, Gemini, it's like one of those things, like I'm a Gemini moon, right? And also, by the way, I'm a 5-degree Pisces, and 5 degrees is the degree of Gemini. So I am definitely like Gemini influenced, right? And, it's like I've just been noticing that I've been like not comparing myself to other people recently, but like in a good way. Like I mean this in a good way, and I think you could be doing the same thing. This is why I'm telling you this. It's like I see people like who are successful or whatever, and I'm like, oh, it would be nice to have like that part, of that person. I'm not saying like become that person, but I'm saying like, it's kind of like I've been noticing the good things, which is good, of course, paying attention to the positive, but I feel like you could be doing the same thing where you're like saying to yourself, like, this is like the kind of person I want to be, it's like this part of this person. And it's like, again, I'm not saying that you're becoming someone else, but I think you could be kind of just like, appreciating certain things and adopting those habits, or, becoming that part of a person, right? And I hope that makes sense, but definitely popping into my head with this Page of Wands. I also feel like the Page of Wands is saying, like, don't rush, just intuitively. Like, I feel like he's saying, again, it would be better to not have any public freakouts or any, like weird reveals at this time, right, Gemini, especially with Mercury retrograde. Like, I would give it a little bit of time, or, whatever the case may be. So, right, that's what I'd say there. You have the Judgment card. Again, probably waking up to who you really are. Again, if there are things that you admire, I don't know, there's nothing in this reading that says this, but just I'm just getting this intuitively, that there are like things that you admire. That's probably a better way to put it, that are jumping out at you. And I feel like the universe is like saying, yes, you are paying attention to this right now because it's part of who you are or who you want to be. And, and it's part of your purpose. It's part of the bigger picture, the bigger plan that the universe has for you. And so I kind of feel the universe is saying, answer the call, right? If there's something that someone does that you appreciate, it's like you can, do the same thing. And again, it's not like you're becoming a different person. Anytime I say this, someone always says that. I'm like, I never said you are becoming a different person. What I'm saying is maybe you appreciate someone's confidence. You aren't becoming that person. You are becoming more confident, right? So again, I think they're just like little things. I don't know why it's popping into my head this way, but it is. So I think they're just like little things that you're appreciating. And I would really pay attention to those things. It could be habits, could be confidence, could be whatever. But I think it's going to be good for you. I'm also getting something about a blast from the past here for you, Gemini. I don't know if this is good or bad, although the reading is very positive. But, again, there definitely could be like the return of a person back into your life, like a blast from the past here. The other weird thing that's popping into my head is that maybe you didn't even date this person, but I definitely feel it is love related. King of Cups, Queen of Cups, divine counterparts, 10 of Cups, Ace of Cups. Definitely could be a solid connection. I also feel like it could be a brand spanking new person, but this could be like a past life person. And, I think the important thing that's popping into my head here, Gemini, for those of you looking for love, is it's a blast, right? It's like literally fun. I don't think this is a serious person, like not in a bad way, in a good way. I don't think it's not like you're not going to want to hang out with this person, I think that you will have a blast with this person. So if you're attracting love, definitely looks very good. Could be a very strong emotional connection as well. King and Queen of Cups, again, King of Cups here, Queen of Cups. It's like you literally have King of Cups making an offer to the Queen of Cups, which could be you or vice versa, take how it resonates. But definitely could be a person making an offer. And again, these two are good divine counterparts. They definitely have a strong emotional connection. They also feel very happy, so that's very good. The other thing I will tell you, Gemini, is the world to the Tower can just be a move. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were like moving or thinking about making moves at this time. Again, the Tower's coming up in the good stuff, which is a good thing. We'll talk about it. You also have the Judgment card and the Tower. Whenever I have these two cards in a reading, to me, this is like the most powerful combination in the tarot is Judgment and Tower. It can represent like a big wake-up call, major revelation, or something like that. So a lot of you could be like having some sort of like revelation or aha moment at this time. Again, I'm gonna continue to say this to you for a long time because of Uranus in your sign. You really need to pay attention to those like zaps, right? It's like Uranus and Gemini is like electricity. It's like a zap of something. And so any of those like quick little insights that you get, I would either have a place to write them down, or I'm looking for my notebook, which is actually under my table over here because sometimes I just throw it down there for some reason. But I literally have a notebook where I write my ideas down in it. And, I would have something like that because, again, Uranus and Gemini, you're going to be downloading information. Some of the ideas are going to be absolute garbage. And they, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Some of them will be terrible. Some of them will be like doctorate level ideas. You need to pay attention to your ideas. And you need to be curious about your ideas as well with the Page of Swords. It's kind of funny because I think it would almost be a good time for you to like have a focus group, right? And what I mean is like a group of positive people in your life who really support you, that you can bounce ideas off of. And, if they tell you it's a bad idea, maybe do a little more research. If they tell you it's a good idea, still do some more research, but it's probably a good idea. And, that's what I'd be paying attention to here. With the Judgment card, you have the Eight of Swords. I feel like you're feeling pulled towards something. Again, if you are interested in a person, I would open up here in some way. It's like I get a little bit of shyness or something. I don't know if it's you or them. So, again, some of you might be around a person or something. I feel like for some of you, there's like a person who comes into your work or something like that is what's popping into my head here. And like, I would be a little bit more open or something. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like I feel like this person thinks that you don't like them or something. So, yeah, I don't know. It's popping into my head. With the King of Cups, you have the Hermit. Yes, like closed off hidden energy is what I would say. So I would open up with the Hermit. I also feel like this is saying it would be safe for you to open up emotionally. So for those of you that are looking for love, it's definitely time. I also feel it's like time for you to move forward in general. The Hermit has been through a dark night of the soul, and now it's time for him to like move forward on his journey. Next, in the area of the what's coming in for you, you have this Porcupine Spirit, says time for a beginner mind. You have this Panther Spirit, says reclaim your power. Yes, definitely time for Gemini to claim, I would just say claim your power just in general. I do feel it's a good time for a beginner mind because everything is new, everything is different, and we're entering into a new time. So, I would definitely do that with the Porcupine. I think it is time for you to be like bold, assertive, really go for what you want with the Panther Spirit as well. You have the Strength card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. The Strength card is a card of patience or, having been patient, but it's also a card of having worked a lot on your inner strength. And so I think a lot of you have been working a lot on your inner strength. It's kind of like popping into my head as like, which wolf do you feed? But again, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, it's like, which personality are you going to entertain? I think like we will see this in the world, right? With world leaders and things like that are Geminis. There's a couple I can think of off the top of my head, right? Where it's like we will see some of them like the worst come out, and for others we will probably be surprised and see the best come out as well. And not just world leaders, but anyone who's on stage, and like famous people, things like that. And, it's like I kind of get that energy for Gemini. It's like you have to make the choice which one you are. And obviously I would go towards the positive, and I think most of you will. So not too worried about it. It's a very positive reading, but it's an amazing time for attention, and that's what I would pay attention to with this card. I'm also getting something here, Gemini, that you've done too much work is popping into my head. Those words. It's like you've done too much work to give up or something now. This is like a completely separate message that randomly popped into my head there at the end. If you are thinking about giving up on something or quitting something, no, don't. I feel like especially if it's something you've been working towards, like those words literally popped into my head as I put that card down. Like you've done too much work or something like that. You need to keep going. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady progress, but you are making progress. I kind of feel like that, like the time that we're in, it's like you're going to make a lot of progress between like now and March is popping into my head of next year. And then, by the way, that progress is not going to stop. It's like imagine if you are building a rocket between now and March of next year. Then after March, I think that you're blasting off, right? So it's almost like you're building like the foundation and the rocket, right? That's going to launch your ass into outer space, Gemini. And so I feel like this is saying, I don't know, very weird that the message like changed like that all of a sudden, but it did. And so I've never really had that happen in a reading, but that strength card said to me, like, basically, don't give up now. Especially if you've been working on a project or something that you're doing. And I think that you could be seeing things going on in the world and, like, worrying about it. And I feel this is saying, like, no. Between now and March, I don't trust psychic timing, but that's what's popping into my head, right? The universe doesn't wear a watch, and neither do I. And because I break them. But what I would say is that, this is saying to me that between now and March, it's like you will be making progress, probably more than you have been making, especially if you're working on a project. And then after March, things are really going to take off. So, I don't know, popping into my head. There you go. Keep going. Yes, you have the Ace of Pentacles. With the Tower and the Judgment card, this could be an idea. The Ace of Pentacles here is a card of like a seed of an idea. You have to plant that seed to get it to grow. And so I think a lot of you could be having like ideas that help you work on your foundation that will lead to a lot of success. I said something about in the beginning of the reading as well about like your inspirations, people who inspire you and things like that. Again, it's like I think you could see people. It's like you could see the results that people are getting by doing something, and it could surprise you as well. Just this morning, I was looking at someone and I was looking at a group that they built, and I was just like shocked by the results they got. Not hating on the person that I'm talking about or anything. I was just genuinely surprised. Like, like when that happens, I think those are good moments because it's like it shows you what's possible. It shows you what you can do in your life. So, if you're seeing like examples in the world of something that you want to do, I would embrace it and, take inspiration from it and get started. But Ace of Pentacles definitely could be a really good idea. With the Strength card, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, don't give up now. Definitely popped into my head. Nine of Pentacles, like heaven on earth. It's creating everything you want and desire in your life, so I would keep going. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Page of Wands. Yeah, again, you have the Page of Wands twice. It's funny because I just said this to someone else this week, but, I think something people forget about the Page of Wands. Good card. He can represent enthusiasm and getting started, but he can also kind of come up when we are burnt out. But it's a specific type of burnout. It's the type of burnout where we've been trying. We've been trying to find success and nothing is working, right? And so I think that some of you, it's like you definitely need to not give up. And, I think things are, I don't want to say going to be easier, but you're definitely making progress. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is walking away from things that no longer serve you. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to walk away from things that no longer serve you, just in general. I think you need to walk towards true fulfillment. I also feel that, like, if you're saying to yourself, like, I wish I could do X, Y, Z, then you need to do it. It's like, imagine if you said to yourself, I wish I could only work 10 hours a week, right? There are plenty of very successful people that probably only work 10 hours a week. It is possible, right? And I feel like the Eight of Cups is saying, once you walk away from all the things that prevent you from doing that, that's when you'll have it. It's really just about making the choice, right? And I feel like that's what you have to do here with the Eight of Cups. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but, I think you can do it. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Listen card. It says, your inner child has something to say. You have this, here you go. You have this card that says, you can do hard things. It is not as impossible as it may feel. There's definitely something coming in for you this week. I would really pay attention to what's inspiring you, because I think something is showing you what's possible. It's like showing you, another world that exists, or something like that. I feel like some of you are maybe seeing another world that exists, which would be very Uranus and Gemini, If it kind of reminds me of like if you have a business, it's like maybe you think you can only charge a certain amount of money for your services, but it's like maybe you see someone else who charges an absolute fortune for like the same exact thing. It's almost like you're seeing that there's another way to do things, and I don't know, that could be very important. Same thing in love. I mean, your very first card here is the Ten of Cups. You have the World and the Queen of Cups. It's like you could be seeing that a whole other world exists in love, a whole different way of doing things. And again, I'm not saying you have to agree with it or, do it, but it's just like you're seeing it, and which is good. Like I said, I don't think this is bad or good. I think you're just seeing the way things can be done, and this could lead to a lot of changes. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. Again, I would definitely say from like now-ish until the end of the year, or until March, I would say things are improving. Are things perfect? Hell no. So get perfect out of your head, right? We have the South Node in Virgo. We have Uranus and Gemini until 2033. We are in a time of chaos. I've been saying this for years. And all these chaotic things happen, and people are like, I'm so surprised. I'm like, what are you talking? I've been warning everybody against this since 2016. You can literally go to the live tab on my channel, separate it by oldest, go watch some of my oldest lives. I used to talk about this all the time. So, we're in a time of craziness, and it is what it is. But, we have to focus on doing things that bring happiness into our lives. And if we do that, then things will get happier and better. You have the World. And so again, seeing a different world, seeing that there's different ways of doing things. Again, this should be a good thing because it should help you be more flexible in the world, and should help you choose to be more flexible as well, which is definitely what I would do with this World card. I feel like a lot of you are standing out, Geminis. Again, it is a very good time for air signs to just stand out in general. So anything you can do to stand out, I would with this card. I also feel you really have the power to create your own reality. I mean, she has two wands here. One wand is like the Magician's wand. The other wand is kind of just like a wand of creation, just through action. So if there was ever a time where where Gemini could create their own reality or come up with some sort of crazy ass idea for what they want reality to be, it would definitely be right now. So there you go. You have the Queen of Cups. I definitely feel there could be a very happy connection that's coming in for you here, right? And so, I don't know, I just feel it like it's a blast is the best word I could use. Like, I think that this could even be a connection where it's like the two of you are in your own, you create your own little world, right? Where it's like you're kind of like having fun together. So, I don't know, this might be like the best relationship you've had in a while. Here you go. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Lovers. So, number one, the Lovers is you, Gemini. Whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading, but also very positive. So, good energy there. With the World, you have the High Priestess. Definitely time to trust your intuition. You've been getting the High Priestess with me a lot, or intuitive cards with me a lot. So I feel, but again, I kind of feel like this is talking about the downloads, right? That we've been talking about with you for a couple of weeks. It's like you get a downloaded idea, I would write it down. It's probably not going to make sense. I've been saying this to you for the past 2 weeks, and it's just definitely popping into my head that your readings are like a prophecy. It's like the downloads you're getting are like a prophecy. It's like it might not make sense. You know what I mean? It might be some crazy story about chickens in your backyard, but it actually means something else. So I would be writing down your downloads and then like thinking about them later is what I'm getting. I've been getting this for you. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Strength card. Really, it's kind of interesting. Hermit, King of Cups with the Strength with the Queen of Cups. It's like this would be two people who have clearly done the work. It's like one person's gone through a dark night of the soul and healed and is shining their light, and the other person has also done inner work with the Strength card and is also showing off. The Strength card, she is showing off. She is taming that lion, on the card. So people are seeing her tame her inner beast. And, again, this looks like two people who've done the work, so looks good. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Unlocking Solutions card. It says, through compromise, you will create the successful outcome you're hoping for. Love it. You have this Courage card. I said that at the beginning of the reading. It says Leo. It could be a Leo that you're attracting, by the way. It could be any sign. It says, boost your courage so you can put yourself out there in a bigger way. Yes, definitely. I do think you need to put yourself out there in a bigger way here, Gemini, in every sense of the word, right? In love, in business, everywhere. And I would have the courage to do that. You have the Ace of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Tower. The Ace of Cups is definitely a love offer. Again, this could be a surprise love offer because of that Tower card. You could be a little bit surprised, or just you could be like surprised that a person is interested in you. that you are interested in. Again, if you know who this person is already, I just feel like I would be more open. I'm not telling you what to do, but it's like, I don't know, I just get the feeling of a person who's like, wow, this person hates me. It's like, that's what I'm seeing in my head. Like, if you're interested in a person, I feel like the person you're interested in thinks that you don't like them. And it could be because of the vibe you're putting off or something. I'm not saying you have to, like, go jump up and down on this person's face, but, what I am saying is that, maybe being more open body language or something, or smiling, something like that, I don't know. I think could be very helpful, but definitely a definite love connection for some of you. For some of you, I feel you have no clue who this person is and you're about to meet them. I also think you're about to create more happiness in your life. But again, this is going to be between now and like March. I think that you're working on something. It's like you're working on a rocket, is the best way I can describe it. Next, you have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about moving on to calmer shores, general improvements coming in for you. So I feel a lot of you could be creating improvements in your life, definitely leaving behind the choppy waters. Again, I'm not saying things are going to be perfect, but I just feel better. Things are improving, day by day. But these are improvements that you're going to create, Gemini. I don't think these are improvements that anyone else is going to create. I think, what I'm trying to say is all improvements come from you. It's like, sometimes, yes, improvements do come from other people, right? But, I just think it's a time where it's like you are the one that's doing it. Strength is something that you're doing. Judgment, that's your higher self angel. So it's like coming from you, and I just feel a lot of improvements are improvements that you're creating. You have the Tower. The Tower and the good stuff can be a move. The Tower and the good stuff can be an aha moment, like we said with the Judgment card. Definitely the most powerful combination in the tarot. It represents like a big aha moment or sudden realization. The Tower can also represent coming down to reality, but this could be like you could be seeing reality for like how it actually is. So that could be a good thing as well. But again, some of you, I wouldn't be surprised if you are moving or if you move by surprise. So there you go. With the Ace of Cups, you have the World again. So definitely could be a person at a distance or a person that you meet out in the world. The World can also represent a big accomplishment coming in for you. But again, I think you're working on a big accomplishment, literally. Like something, like I said, between now and March. It's like you're working on something that has taken some time. You're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. The other thing is like I think you've been preparing for this for a very long time. It's like maybe you've been, like I think maybe you're realizing that what you're building in life is based off of everything you've been through the past 20 years, right? It's like all kind of like adding up. With the Six of Swords, you have the Four Wands. Love looks amazing in this reading. Definitely could be attracting a person you will marry. Definitely a very strong commitment. The Four Wands is just a strong commitment, so I think this could be good. With the Tower, you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a card of a victory or big success coming in for you. So I do feel that there could be like a big win or big success coming in for you here, Gemini. And definitely, this could be a little bit of a surprise. You could be getting surprise recognition for work that you've done. Or you could just be surprised that you're finally getting recognition in the world for work that you've done in the past, right? And, there you go. You have this Younger Man card. It says, dealings or relationships with the younger man. I'm laughing because this is very Gemini energy. It says, it says, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly, right? I feel like this is saying that you feel like you're not ready for something, but you actually are. So it's like you're more prepared than you think, Gemini. And, especially if you're working on something and, that's what I'd be paying attention to. You have this cat, says a two-faced friend. Yes, Uranus and Gemini. Like I said, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, I would be careful of that energy. If you have a person in your life who is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I would get rid of them, plain and simple, because it's like we have enough going on. We don't need to be dealing with people who have a hissy fit every 2 seconds, right, about everything, and then they try to be nice to us. So, you know what I mean? It's like I would avoid that type of energy at all cost. You have this purse card that says, pay attention to your finances. I think money looks really good. Money is changing. I've talked about this before. But you have the Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. But again, I think we need to not be spending money all over the place, right? And that's what this is saying. You have this cane that says, pay attention to your health. I think everybody needs to pay attention to their health as well. South Node and Virgo. Virgo is a health-conscious sign. And, the South Node definitely could be about us needing to do things to make sure that we stay healthy or needing to do things that make us more healthy. And so if you do that, you will be more healthy. So, obviously I would stay healthy. I think we're also in a time where we have to be super effective at whatever we're doing. So if we're not healthy, we're not going to be effective, right? And, I would just pay attention to that. You have this I card. It says psychic ability, trust your intuition. Yes. High Priestess. The thing about the High Priestess is she just represents potential. So, it's like sometimes the downloads we get from the High Priestess are just like potential. Potential means nothing. Potential means what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. But that really doesn't mean anything. So, again, I think you need to write your ideas down and trust your intuition. But this looks very good, Gemini. I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.